Sports Entertained is recorded live at twitch.tv/baldyandthebeast. Come check us out every Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and watch the matches right along with us.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bront.
I'm Willem.
And we are Baldy and the Beast. Welcome back to another episode of Sports Entertained.
Yes.
Willem.
What?
What are we doing today?
Today, we are going to be watching Cactus Jack versus Triple H from No Way Out 2000, the Hell in a Cell match.
Ooh. Potentially Mick Foley's retirement match.
Yep. If I remember right, the lead up to this match was that if Mick Foley lost this match, then he would have to retire.
Well, I will tell you more about that right now, actually.
All right, go for it, Mr. Research.
This happened on February 27th of 2000. It was at the Hartford Civic Center in Hartford, Connecticut. So probably not too far from the home of the WWF at the time.
Yes.
There were 12,551 people. 51. That's how you know the numbers are more legit, when it's like super random and not just like there were 12,000 people there. No, there were 12,551. So this all started at Armageddon, when Trips beat Vince in a no-holds-barred match with the help of Stephanie.
Okay.
Who I feel is important to add right now that Trips drugged and married her at a drive-through Traffle. That is not me exaggerating. That is not me making shit up this time. That happened.
That is the storyline.
Yup. So Steph turned on Vince to align with her husband and start the McMahon-Helmsley era, as it was known.
Yep.
So after that match, Vince departed, like I said, but so did Shane. So this leaves Stephanie and Hunter, by proxy, in charge of the dub.
Okay.
So immediately, what happens when these two get power is what exactly what you think would happen. They try to take out their rivals, and they reunite DX to help them do this. So all this kind of leads to a pole match between Mick Foley and The Rock. And the loser is fired.
Okay.
Mick lost. So on January 3rd, which was the next Raw, Triple H won the title back from Big Show, who had beaten Big Show at Survivor Series when Big Show was put in that match last minute after Stone Cold was hit with a car.
Okay, yeah.
So Triple H just won that title back on that episode of Raw. And later in that same night, The Rock was in a handicap match versus DX. And if Rock lost, he was going to get fired. So you can tell Triple H is just trying to get rid of all of his enemies.
Yep.
But what happened? Mankind comes through the crowd, helps Rock win the match. So The Rock doesn't get fired. The next week, The Rock leads out the whole locker room. They all come out and demand that Mick Foley is reinstated, and if not, the whole locker room is just going to quit. So obviously, Mick gets reinstated. They have an 8-man tag between The Rock, the Acolytes, and Mick Foley versus DX. And Triple H won because he pinned Mick after brutally attacking him, beating the hell out of him, hit him with a pedigree, and then their match at the Royal Rumble happened.
Which we watched 2 weeks ago.
You can see that review at Plug Channel here. Oh, shit, I mean Baldy and the Beast. Like that joke. Baldy and the Beast at YouTube was where it'd be at. Also, all of our wonderful, wonderful audio places.
Yes. Unfortunately, we don't have an easy to pronounce link to that YouTube channel because we don't have enough subscribers on that YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, go check out the YouTube channel. Click that subscribe button. We would love to see you there. Or if you want to listen to the whole thing, match included, check out the audio-only version, linked down below, on all your favorite podcast platforms.
I don't mean this negatively, Willem. I mean this in the utmost positive way. You are way better at shilling than I am. But anyways, so the next night after the pay-per-view, Trips would grant Foley another chance at the gold in a match of his choosing, and Mick chose Heck in a Sec. And he said if he loses, he's going to retire. I do have in parentheses here, wrestling retirements are notoriously short. Cough, cough. Mick would wrestle in the main event of the literal next pay-per-view, only a little more than a month away.
Yeah.
So
I feel
Sorry
like
if I spoiled the match for anybody there.
I feel like it is worth pointing out that Austin was out at this time. 2000 was a banger year for pay-per-views for like storylines just in general. Almost all the pay-per-views are fantastic, and
Yep.
Austin didn't come back until like very late in the year.
Yep. It was he was out with his neck injury, and that really gave like Triple H
Mm-hmm.
room in the main event scene because he took up all the room that was left.
Yep.
But let's go ahead. Let's get into that card so I can watch this match
Yes.
because I love old Hell in a Cell matches. The new ones aren't as good in my opinion. So let's run down the card.
And I have yet to watch this match.
We open up with a Jesus Christ, look at that.
Oh boy.
Screenshot on the network of a babyface ass Kurt Angle taking on Chris Jericho to open the match. God, that was probably good.
Yeah.
What a way to open a card.
God, a lot of this card looks like it'd be freaking amazing.
Yeah, not the third match, but we'll get there.
No, but you know.
The second match is the Outlaws versus the Dudley Boys for the tag titles. That was probably good.
Yep.
Mark Henry Viscera. The less said about that, probably the better.
Yeah.
Later in the match, we have the card. We have Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian.
Oof.
You forget how good their tag division, for as shitty as Vince is historically at booking tag teams, their tag division at this time was awesome.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. Like,
so good.
We can shit on Vince's booking decisions for tag teams all day today, but in like Attitude Era, it was mint. It was chef's kiss. Some amazing shit right there.
Almost like the wrestlers had a say in what they were doing in the ring, and therefore they made their characters look better.
Yes.
Not salty about that at all. Next up, we have Big Boss Man versus Taz.
That's probably a serviceable match.
Yeah. I don't want to say it probably wasn't great.
No.
But I guarantee you it wasn't the drizzling shits either.
Yeah.
X-Pac fought Kane in a no holds barred match.
I bet that wasn't too I bet that was not bad. That was pretty good.
Yeah. God, I forgot the Radicals had already jumped at this point.
Yep.
The whole timeline is so weird to me sometimes. Because next up is Rikishi and Too Cool versus the Radicals. Yep. Followed up by newly not the champion, the Big Show, and versus The Rock. God, their whole roster is just fucking so good.
Yeah, this was definitely like the era of the big stars, and it's definitely when they go back and they like we complain about nostalgia, this is the shit that they're nostalgic for. However, I will say that at this time, Big Show was kind of seen as we look fondly on Big Show now, but he was very much a pariah at this point because it was 2000. He was way over himself. Like he thought that he himself was way more over than he actually was, and he gained a lot of weight and he gained a lot of shit. He was not great at this point in time.
To give him the littlest bit of defense here, he was the first guy coming in from WCW, and I think that there might have been a stigma around him because of that. And I'm not trying to defend him too much because he did get bloated shortly after this, and he got big.
Well, I'll kind of go out of the way and say I've seen some interviews and heard some things like where he's said himself where WCW kind of set him up to be the giant, to be what he was. They set him up to be that, and he could do great and amazing things in WCW where they were pushing him. But when he came over to the dub, he was essentially a big fish in a bigger pond. So he didn't stand out quite as much. And even though he was king shit in WCW, he was no longer king shit in WWF.
Yeah, I don't know. I have my ways of Big Show. I like Big Show, and then other points I'm just super tired of him. Mostly because of the 437,000 turns that they had him do.
I do find it ironically hilarious that he, even in 2020, he interfered in that match between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, and he was just there for like 5 seconds, punched Randy, and then left. And I feel like I feel like he's just trolling us at this point.
In a perfect universe, he would be like some big motherfucker's like manager almost, because he can talk.
Yeah.
And he likes to entertain people.
Yep.
And he's just a threatening presence. So just if you got him on payroll, have him come out as like, I don't know, who's fucking big and could use a manager.
Braun.
Not even big. What if they put him with like a smaller dude and he was like the muscle / manager instead of having AJ Styles get that one guy they could have had. We're totally off track. Let's get into the match. For those of you watching at home, we are at 2:04:18 on the network. When you bring it up, it'll be a lovely picture of the cell.
Oh, hold on. My flag came up at 2:04:22, but it might have just been because I pressed a button. There it goes. Yeah, I'm at 2:04:18 now. Okay.
All right. Are we ready to go?
I am ready to go.
You can do the honors, my friend.
Okay. So we're going to be starting the match in 5, 4, 3, 2. The lighter one. It's like, all right, I'll let you have your arms back, homie. All right.
What a match. God, was that really half an hour?
That was half a damn hour, dude.
That could have fooled me.
Yeah, I know. Match ends at 48.
Does anything happen after this
20.
that we need to watch?
Well, there's still 4 minutes left in the show. I don't know.
I'll go forward and explore.
It might just be Mick getting carted out of the ring, honestly. God damn.
It's a couple replays of the top of the cell, Mick walking out on his own power. Yeah, that's the end of the show. We can go ahead and cut there.
God damn. All right. Well, out of 5 stars, how do you give that match there, Bront?
Oh, that's such a mean question to ask me first because I don't know what you're thinking. So I'm partial because they brought out flaming barbed wire.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love those garbage wrestling spots.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be not biased. As a match, though, I'm really stressing to try and pick out like things that were bad about it. It was just a good match. The crowd was hot. I think that's 4.5 stars all day long.
I'm gonna bump it up a little bit. I'm gonna give it 4 3/4. The only reason I'm not giving that a 5 is just because Mick couldn't quite get the chair up to the top of the cell. And he tried one too many times with it, so I'm knocking off a 1/4 star on that one. But I thought it was a great match. I was thoroughly entertained. As the sadist in me wishes there was just a smidge bit more blood, but it kind of goes back on what I said last week, where even though there were probably like more blade spots in this era, there was a lot more blood in the Ruthless Aggression era. Like there were blade spots and there was color in a lot of these matches, but there was way more blood in general was spilled in the Ruthless Aggression era.
I think Jables spilled more blood in that match we lost last week than both of these guys combined.
Yeah. But I thought it was great. I thought a lot of the spots were great. I particularly like just from like the audio perspective of it. The spot where Mick slingshotted Triple H from the ground off the steps into the cell, where Trips got color, like the smack on the ground from where you heard Mick hit the ground, like that was one of the ones that was cool for me. Obviously the backdrop off the top of the cell through the cell where Foley caved in the ring, and just how close he got to being dead.
Part of me wishes that would have just been the finish.
Yeah.
Because let's sell people going through the top of the cage.
Right.
But I understand, like, they didn't do a lot after. Trips pretty much just had a pedigree.
Right.
So I really don't want to penalize the match too much on that because they only did one extra move.
How, aside from this and the Undertaker match, how How many Hell in a Cell matches are there that they actually went through the top of the cage? I feel like there's just like this one. I've not heard of any other matches where they actually go through the top of the cell.
I think Mick is the only bastard crazy enough to do it once, and he
The
did it twice.
the only person it's like that meme. It's like if I had a dime for every time Mick Foley went through the top of Hell in a Cell, I'd have 2 dimes, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Just about the truth. I keep trying to I'm like, well, what negatives? Because I want to like critique the matches as we go as well.
Right.
I'm just really struggling. Like, there's a lot of nitpicky shit I could bring up, but I don't want to be that guy. Like, it's just a well laid out match by 2 really good guys that know what they're doing.
Right. This was just a solid top tier match. The ring work rate could have been a little bit better to maybe, you know, make it feel a little bit more believable, but that's not the type of match this is. This is a Hell in a Cell match. It's the, like, essentially the blow off to their feud, as Hell in a Cell matches should be, the blow off to a feud. Yep. And it felt like it. And you could see, like, the way that Hunter sold a lot of the ring stuff, the way that he sold it with his facials, like, you could see the fear on his face, and rightfully so.
Well, and like, I don't know. Back then, it was just different, man.
Yeah.
Like, and these guys were never work rate guys.
Right.
But back then, the Cell was almost a third participant in the match.
Yeah.
So I'm trying hard not to to find stuff to say about it, but like, it just added so much. And I'm so disappointed going back and watching some of these Hell in a Cells because it's just like, man, it used to be this good.
Right. It really is one of those things where the first Hell in a Cell matches were really the best ones. There are a couple, like, here and there are a couple really good ones from nowadays, like the New Day versus the Usos Hell in a Cell. That was a phenomenal fucking match.
Literally the one from recent memory that I was going to bring up.
Right. A lot of the rest of them weren't great. The Charlotte Flair Sasha Banks one, that one wasn't terrible, but it
was fine.
It was a good match, but it didn't feel like the Cell was necessary in that match. I also just have, I don't want to like come off as sexist in this one, but I feel like women and table spots don't really go well together, simply for the fact that in general women in wrestling weigh less than men in wrestling, so it's a lot more difficult for them to go through the table and sell the table spot.
I agree, but I think, to me, because there are a lot of times where you're saying where the table won't break, but when it does, it's like that much more sad. Like if Charlotte put Sasha through a table, it's that much more satisfying because it's like, a lot of weight going through that damn table.
Right.
That's force.
That is force going through the table, but she didn't go through the table. If she would have went through the table, that match would have been like infinitely better. Even though it's just like one spot, it would have been way better if like it could have just been sold by her going through the table.
Well, and even like now that they hadn't really tried a whole lot of table spots before then with women, I think now they know well enough. You can gig that table.
Oh,
all you need is a fucking like utility blade. Go underneath in the middle a couple times.
Yeah.
That just make a little crack, something that structurally weakens it overall.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it should be ever a problem again. But,
right.
I mean, Nyla put what's her face who ain't that big through a table and it looked fine.
She put Riho through a table.
Yes, it was Riho. I can't remember who it was, to be honest.
Yep.
And Riho is not big.
Riho is a very tiny person. Like, holy shit.
They learned somewhere along the line how to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
all right. Well, I feel like our episode is going a little bit long because we talked a little bit. We just kind of, went on a little bit in the preamble before the match. So, what is the next match that we are going to be watching for Mootober?
We're doing Great Muta and Ric Flair, and if there's not fucking color in this match, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, there's gonna be so much color in this match, I hope. But then again, we thought there was gonna be so much color in the last match, and there wasn't any color.
There's no color.
I feel like this is gonna be a fucking top-notch, top-tier match. I'm very excited for this one.
I
I'm
am.
very
Well,
I'm very excited for all the matches we watch because they're all good shit. Like it's not
yeah.
we've yet to get to. I feel like we say this every episode. We've yet to get to a point where we're watching garbage, but you know you got to watch the good stuff so that people want to come and watch the bad stuff.
Yeah. I am not cheating and looking at the next match to see if there's color.
How long is the next match?
17 minutes.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I feel like it's worthwhile saying on this match that this match is a half-hour match, and it did not feel like it at all.
Not
Like
even close.
that's the trademark of a solid match is that a match can go long, and it doesn't feel like it. Like
Exactly.
if you don't feel like it's actually that long at the end of the match, and it went 30 minutes, no problems. Like that's the trademark that you like. You're not watching the time, you're just watching the match, and you're being entertained by what you're watching.
Exactly. And I feel like lately a lot of the matches we've been doing have been that type where it's like, we'll get done. And I'm like, holy shit.
Right.
It's like 30 minutes.
Aside from the Owen Brett part 2, that one went long.
That one went long.
That one dragged just a bit.
The only time I've ever actually been bored on this channel, what went long, was that last WWE pre-show we watched. If that was 60 minutes long, that bitch was 60 minutes too long.
Yep.
However many minutes it went that too long. It was boring as fuck.
Yep.
All right. That's off topic. That's my ADHD coming through.
Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to call it here. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for giving us all the likes, subscribes. Thank you for checking us out on Facebook. Thank you for checking us out on Twitter. Giving us a subscribe on YouTube if you haven't. We love seeing you there. Thank you for checking out the audio-only podcast if you don't want to look at our ugly faces. If you just want to listen to us while you're on a road trip, while you're on the road. If you just want to hang out, listen to your boys. We love you.
Woo!
We will be back this coming Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for The Great Muta versus Ric Flair for Part 3 of The Great Mutober. If you haven't already, give us a follow here on Twitch. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. We love to see you there. We love seeing all the audience interaction, crowd interaction. You know what I mean. But until then, until next time, thank you so much for coming out. We will see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.